So a few weeks ago, Mark Zuckerberg talked about how he is renaming his company, Facebook, into Meta because they are going to be all about creating the metaverse, which is a virtual reality or artificial reality of socializing, where people go into the metaverse and they can interact much like they can in the real world, but it's in virtual reality. There are a lot of implications when it comes to Christians following Jesus, being a disciple of Jesus, and what it means to actually be in community and be in the metaverse. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Is it kind of both? How should we really approach this idea of the metaverse and artificial reality? The first thing Mark Zuckerberg talked about is how the metaverse is all about experience. It's all about curating an experience for the viewer or for the consumer, for the person going into this reality. You can create whatever avatar you want, and you can be whoever you want to be, and you can fully immerse yourself into a brand new experience apart from the world. Yeah, sure, you can be in a game or like a video game. We all kind of know what this kind of immersion looks like. But you can also be who you're not in the metaverse as well. And you can be who you really wish you could be. I wonder if you'll see a lot of people escaping from reality in this metaverse, where there's kind of, I don't like my life as present, therefore I'm going to escape into this more controlled environment where I can control in a very real way the outcomes of my life. I also wonder if it caters for more of a consumeristic understanding of the world, where I get what I want and I can be the master or the king or the queen of my domain. What I say goes. The metaverse is also virtual reality or artificial reality. You can enter into a whole new life, as I just talked about. You can actually do more than just experience and have fun or entertainment. Supposedly what Mark Zuckerberg is talking about is you can actually work, attend concerts, hang out with your friends, basically do all the things you currently are doing right now in the metaverse. And there are some pros and there are some cons to that. And then finally, the metaverse is the internet brought to life. Basically, all we see on the internet is a screen and a page, and we click through different things. But what the metaverse promises to do is allow us to enter into the internet in a physical space. Now, I wonder what entering into the internet or entering into social media in an immersive kind of way will actually do to the human person or the human soul. We know, and it is pretty well founded, that people's mental health has seen a rapid decline corresponding exactly with the advent of social media. Correlation doesn't necessarily mean causation, but it's really interesting that the two things are happening side by side with one another. Where we're constantly comparing and constantly looking at other people, our mental health is on the decline as well. And I wonder if we step into this reality, that this will exponentially increase some things as to what it means to be human or what it doesn't mean to be human. I wonder if people, when they enter into this completely immersive social network, that will have more negative effects on the person than it will have positive effects. I have not yet talked about Christian theology yet. I've just surveyed what the metaverse is and what Mark Zuckerberg says he envisions the metaverse to be. Because here's the thing, I'm not against technology, because technology can be good and it can be bad. Technology is neutral. And I wonder what we will be able to enter into as Christians into this metaverse that will be a positive thing and will be a good thing. And I wonder what trade-offs there will be and what things we will kind of grieve or mourn that we've lost because of this new way of interacting in the world. The first thing is, I think that what we've learned over this pandemic season that we've been in is that human-to-human interaction is actually incredibly valuable. I remember at the start of the pandemic, a lot of people were really excited about Zoom and how everybody's online and church is online and people are going to meet online. It's going to be great. And we're going to work from home. We won't have to go to the office ever again. And what did we learn? We learned that people are actually craving those face-to-face human interactions where you can see somebody face to face, where you can look in their eyes, you can give them a hug, you can shake their hands, you can sit next to them, you can speak with somebody who is right next to you. How much the human soul actually needs and desires that level of community is incredibly apparent. And I wonder, even though I think this technological advancement that will happen in the next decade or so is going to have a lot of good things, I wonder if it will actually push us closer and deeper into physical community just because we see the deficit and how great the deficit is in the world right now. I can also see churches using VR or AR in the metaverse as being a campus or a church online. I think it's a natural extension of church online right now on YouTube or Facebook to just go into this metaverse, this virtual reality experience on a Sunday morning. And I think that's a good thing because you're able to reach people that you could not otherwise reach. But I think there's also a trade-off as well, where there's a lack of incarnation, a lack of embodying the message that we are proclaiming and the message that we are delivering to people. I remember when I was in high school, there was always the thought that the medium is the message. Well, that kind of thought has kind of escaped a lot of our minds because the mediums have been changing so rapidly. And I think we need to pause and think, how is the medium that we are using conveying the message that we are proclaiming? Is it actually altering the message, and is it changing it implicitly from what we think it ought to say? If Christian discipleship or being an apprentice of Jesus online means you can just log in, step into this virtual experience, and then step out and leave, that creates an environment of minimal accountability, where you can know somebody to a certain extent online, but you really can't know them really completely. You can't know them as well as you would know them if they are face to face with you, if you actually walked with somebody in life and journeyed with somebody in life. I wonder, in this new era that humans are entering into of online virtual reality in the metaverse, I wonder if what we will realize is that people don't feel known. That in this way of connecting with people, where people can connect with almost anybody in the world right now, that our connection has actually decreased because we can't know the person we're connecting with on a deeper level than if we actually were with them face to face. Also, when I think of the metaverse and I think of the Christian faith and church and discipleship and following Jesus, I filter a lot of the things and the practices that I adopt through the Lord's Supper or communion. Basically, the question I want to ask is, can people have real communion with God and with other people at the Lord's Supper, at the Lord's table, in this VR metaverse experience? I don't know the answer to this, but what I do know is that if it is just a shadow or a substitute or a shallow representation of actually going up, receiving the bread, receiving the juice or the wine from somebody and receiving Jesus in that way, if it is a substitute of that and not that actually, I wonder if we are not doing discipleship right. It'll be really interesting to see what happens in the next few years as this metaverse is developed, and as surely Christians adopt it, and as churches adopt it who are forward-thinking and more innovative in their approach. But what I really want to know is, how will it change our understanding of what the gospel is? How will it change our understanding of what reality is, of what life is, of what it means to be human, and what it means to actually be a follower, a disciple, an apprentice of Jesus? I'll pay attention, I'll take a look, I'll see what's going on, but these were just some of my initial reflections on the metaverse.